Time right now is 8:30. Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning, we are on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. My name is Colin Worthington, and my guest this morning is Maura Keller. She is one of two candidates for the District 3 seat, U.S. Congress, two Democrat candidates. She is on the ballots, Democrat ballots, with Val Almanord. And we've had Val on the program previous, so you can, once this show's over, you can play them back-to-back in a whole hour of entertainment and compare the candidates in the Democrat side in this race. Winner of that one will challenge the Republican winner for the general election, and I'm going to say that's going to be early November. That's my guess, and we'll stick to it. Good morning.
Good morning.
And appreciate it. It's nice to meet you this morning.
Nice to meet you, too.
Talked to you a little bit before the show, caught up with you a little bit. And I was saying that first 45 minutes just talking to you, that should have been the show.
Yeah, I think it's so.
We should have put that one out there. But again, Maura Keller, my guest. So tell us who you are. This is your first time running, so I don't think we've had the pleasure to meet you or brought you on the program or anything like that. Your first time running. Give us your background and then how you got to the point where you decided, you know what, I want to be in Congress.
Well, my name is Maura Keller. I'm originally from South Weymouth, Massachusetts, but I've lived in Fayetteville, Georgia for about 28 years. I'm prior Army. Spent 26 years, started off as a military police enlisted, and then I got my commission, and I was branched AG, Adjutant General Personnel. But I was pretty much, my background was a strategic analyst, so I really love analyzing data. Once I retired, I became a government contractor for about 10 years. Some of my projects were for the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness at the Pentagon. And then I went back to school, got another degree from Augusta and in nuclear medicine technology. And so for about 7 years, I was a nuclear medicine technologist in various hospitals. And my last 4 years was at the Atlanta VA. And that was kind of the catalyst for me to run when I saw what was going on at the Atlanta VA. And when I felt I could not affect change, I thought, you know what, I'm going to run for Congress so I can affect change. So that was part of it. And then the other one was the women's reproductive health. That was the other kicker. And it's like, yeah, I got to do something.
What are you seeing that you think, or what are the VAs lacking that can be fixed on the federal level?
Well, what I see is to me, dealing with some of the issues, because they'll come and they'll contact us when they have issues. They'll say, look, I'm not getting what I need at the VA, so we're going to have to look in. So they're going to do what they call congressionals. So their person's going to come to us, or the soldier service member will come to us saying, we got a problem. We're going to go back to the VA. They're going to look into it, and then they'll get back to us and say, yeah, it's fixed. A lot of times it is not. So my job is to make sure I already know some of the things that are a problem. I want to get them fixed. And my goal is there shouldn't be any congressionals out of the VA. And the second thing is I consider the VA should be the Chick-fil-A of all hospitals, and they are, right now, Atlanta is the second to the bottom in the nation, and that's criminal.
Well, why is that? I mean, I think that's something that both sides agree on. It's like we should be taking care of our veterans.
I cannot crack that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Just trying to help the veterans, get the care that they need when they're trying to do community care. It's taking so long, but they'll say, well, we're short people. To me, that's not an excuse.
And short people, is that a budget, or is it just people?
Short people that,
Short people.
Not height. Yeah. So they don't have enough people to be taking the phone calls. They don't have enough people to be working the issues to get the appointments in the community for the veterans. People will call, and they can be on call for 45 minutes. And so I had a veteran was telling me this. I said, well, you know what, give me the phone number. So I called, and I was going to be put on the phone for 36 minutes. I said, okay. So while I'm doing my patients, I stayed on the line for 36 minutes. I got disconnected. Then I had to call back and get back in the queue. So there's no where you could call and they'll say, hey, press number 1 and we'll put you in the queue and we'll call you back. Something simple like that would be great. But when we got our older veterans, they can't be spending the whole day on the phone, and they end up giving up. And I don't want them giving up. I want to make sure they get the care that they deserve.
Our guest this morning, Maura Keller. She is a candidate, Democratic candidate running for U.S. Congress to represent District 3, 15 counties.
15.
And is Harrelson the northernmost?
Go up, Villarica, all the ways down to the top of Columbus, to the Alabama border.
And have you gone to all of those counties in this campaign?
I have been to every place.
And your bigger issue, we talked about the VA reform, your initial issue. Is that resonating with people? Do they,
My veterans, absolutely. Because even if they don't have any veterans, like in their immediate family, they'll know their grandfather or their father. And it's like, they understood and they remember some of the problems that they had. And it's like it's just a continuation.
Is that a promise when you start out? When you volunteer or when you join the Army and things like that, is that a promise? Do you really believe that when you're 18 years old, leaving high school, you have that promise that you're going to be taken care of?
I don't know if we think of it at that age, but as we get older and we know we need it, and then it's like shouldn't be as difficult to get it. Or those that are trying to get their disability. I can tell you. The paperwork consistently gets lost, or a new person will take over it and they'll say, well, I don't have your paperwork, I need it all over again. And it's almost to the point that they feel that you will give up, that you won't fill out the paperwork, and that'll be less that I have to do. That's exactly right.
Again, you say you've gone to all 15 counties. Mm-hmm. Was there anything that you've heard from potential constituents that you were like, oh, well, I didn't think of that. That's something that I would be willing to push.
What's very common is attainable housing. They all are saying they need something that they can afford. And when I talk to the various groups, the senior citizens, those that are 65 and above, they're wanting to downsize. But there's no homes in the area to downsize to. Or if there are new homes being built, they're way outside the price range. So they would say, we want tiny home communities. But a lot of the areas are not structured to have tiny homes. And then when you talk to the younger folks, they've also mentioned tiny home communities. They can't afford some of the rents, that they would have to live with 2 or 3 people to afford apartments. And if they can finally have something of their own that they could afford, that would be great. And the other thing is talking to various police, teachers. They would love to live in the district that they teach in, but they can't afford the housing. Because right before COVID and during COVID, so many equity firms came in and they bought them up. So now there's no place that's affordable for people to move into.
Well, how do you affect that on the federal level then?
We want to make sure that the funds are available for the folks. Can we get them better rates, more options for first-time home buyers and things like that?
Is that like offering, on the federal level? I'm trying to think the term for it. But it is offering money in some way or discounts to build them.
Absolutely, to help them first time, or again for the seniors, so they can stay and they don't have to live with family. They don't have to go to assisted living. They got a place that they can call their own.
Do those affect other properties? If you think you've got a community of small houses, are people in this subdivision over here going to be?
You do. It seems to be like the middle of the road folks that they feel. If you bring those type of homes in and that they're more affordable, maybe you're bringing people of less value into the communities, and that just floors me every time I hear that. It's like everybody has a right to live, in a place. It's not like they're going to bring down the standards of your area, but yeah, listening to the folks, it's just unbelievable sometimes.
Time right now is 8:39. My guest is Maura Keller. We'll take our first break here in just a second, but as we go, you did mention you were analyzing data. Is that, I guess, was that one of the, did you enjoy, I'm assuming you had to analyze a lot of data during this campaign and put things together. Was that?
Absolutely. But, analyzing data, to me, some of the people that I would brief would be the generals, and I've done some briefings at the Joint Chiefs, and you have to have the right information, and when you get it, you have to look underneath it, behind it, beside it, get a whole picture. Too many people take data face value, and to them that's the answer. And if you don't do your due diligence by looking all around, could change how you look at things. And because if you don't give the people the right information, they're making decisions on what you give them. So I always make sure my data, my analysis is tight.
Did you analyze data? And I mean, I think this is a fair question. I mean, this 15 county district, it feels like it's predominantly Republican, and it's difficult for a Democrat to step up here. What data were you able to analyze
Absolutely.
that gave you the confidence?
So, in order to run, because I worked at the VA, I had to quit because of the Hatch Act. And so that's going to, I just got a promotion. I just got, I'm leaving a retirement on the table. And so I had to go and I say, look, I need data. I need to see what are the chances of a Democrat actually winning in the 3rd district. And when I looked at it, when I saw the number of Democrats, leaning Democrats, that didn't vote.
Yeah.
If they had voted, it would be a whole different picture. And when I go around and I talk to folks, a lot of the non-voters will say, well, I didn't think my voice would matter. I don't think my voice counts. And it's like, it won't count if you don't talk to me. It won't count if you don't vote. So that is the whole premise of this election, is to let everybody know your voice counts. For the ones that have spoken to me, I have a binders and I write down everything that they tell me and I put it in there. If it deals with housing, it goes there. If it deals with health care, it goes there. Women's reproductive health care, it goes there. We're short some of our rural hospitals. We've got OBGYN care that is missing in some of our actual counties, that women have to actually go to another county to get OBGYN care. That shouldn't happen. So those are issues that I all file, and it's like, okay, these are things that are important. These are things that I need to work on.
Again, Maura Keller, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Time right now is 8:42. We'll take our first break. If you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to post those to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and I'll try to look at those during our program. Otherwise, you are stuck with whatever questions I pull out on this program. We'll take our first break right now. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
44. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest is Maura Keller. She is one of two Democrat candidates for the U.S. Congress to represent District 3. General primary is Tuesday. Early voting goes on today, tomorrow, and Friday in every county here. In Carroll County, you can vote early at the former West Georgia Technical College building just down the road from us on Noonan Street. And in Villa Rica, you can vote early today, Thursday, or Friday at Powell Park. But then Election Day is Tuesday, and you need to go to your personal polling place within your precinct. You will not vote at the elections office at the former WGTC building on Tuesday. However, we'll be there. WLBB will be there, B92 Country, and WKNG will be broadcasting live beginning at 7 o'clock and bring you all the results from Carroll and Haralson County, including the general primary races for Congress, and there's a state house race. So it'll be a lot of good fun. So tune in beginning at 7:30, and I very well may have a special guest for that program. I need to confirm that this morning, so I'll give him a call. So someone who will give us a lot of information on politics. Hope to have him on that program again Tuesday night. But again, Maura Keller, one of two Democrat candidates. Val Almanord is the other candidate. Whoever wins that race will face a Republican in the general election in November. So this is a separate race. If you get a Republican ballot, you'll not find Maura on as one of your options. You get a Democrat ballot, you will. You'll find her and Val as your choices. Let me go with this question to start off. President Joe Biden said that he would halt shipments of bombs, and other munitions to Israel if it launched a major military invasion onto the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The warning comes as Israeli forces appeared poised to conduct more operations in the densely packed city of 1.7 million, despite repeated warnings not to do so by the U.S. government. Do you support Biden there?
Yes.
And why?
I don't see Israel, we support, but we don't support the indiscriminate bombings on some of the things that they're doing. They're targeting truly or not innocent folks in Palestine. We're looking for Hamas. Granted, Hamas is underneath the city. They're everywhere. I don't see how you're going to eradicate it without hurting the Palestinian people. And Rafah is such a huge amount of people, and there's like no place else for them to go. And so there is no, from what I can see, again, I don't have intelligence. I just hear what is in the news. Unless they know strategically where Hamas is, they just cannot keep on going in and bombing and bombing and bombing. Maybe their only option, to win, to end this thing, it's just to be devil's advocate. I mean, they feel like they've been bombarded and beat up forever, and it just seems like they finally had enough, and it's like we're going to do whatever just to end this. See, it's the Palestinian people. They've been held hostage a lot by Hamas, and not all Palestinians. You can't say that they're all Hamas. So to me, it's a no-win situation right now. You've got those that are trying to go for a two-state solution, a one-state solution, and no one can even come to terms with that. You've got America wanting two. You've got the PLO wants two, but Hamas wants one. Part of Netanyahu wants only one state. You talk to the groups now that are out there, and I've talked to a couple of people that have actually sent me questions, and they're asking me, how do you feel about this? And they're giving me their side about having Palestinian connections. And then you have the Israelis or people of Jewish descent that are telling me other things, and they're just so off. And until I can sit down and sit down for an intelligence briefing, it's hard to say. But do I believe in the indiscriminate bombing? Unless it's being tactical.
I guess without the intelligence, it's hard to say. How do you see this affecting our relationship with Israel? I mean, you can say, well, they're not going to be happy with us for a while, but
right.
Are we willing to put in the time to make it up to them if we don't continue with that? And how would we do that? What kind of committees would you hope to be on? What would you shine in? What committees would you shine in?
Anything dealing with the health committees, the veterans, the armed forces, foreign affairs would be very important to me. But one of the ones that I like is the Problem Solver Caucus, because it's made up of Republicans and it's made up of Democrats. And that, to me, is where people are supposed to come together. So when we have issues, we can actually have dialogue. Because right now, Congress is just way too fractured. You've got people have gone into their sides, and nothing's going to get done. And with Democrats, we don't have a problem reaching across the aisle for solutions. But it's like the Republicans refuse because it's just, they're not going to do it. They're not anything. Every time they reach across the aisle, they feel they're going to give Joe Biden a win or the Democrats a win, and it's not. It's giving the people that they're supposed to represent a win.
The Republicans did put forth H.R. 2, maybe about a year and a half ago, as far as dealing with immigration. Democrats did attempt to put one out where Republicans, some high-ranking Republicans said, yeah, this is probably the best deal we're going to get, but then that was kind of poo-pooed on and slowed down. And I think they tried again, something restructured about maybe a month ago that wasn't successful. But, I mean, do you feel like this? I mean, both sides are kind of, blowing off this opportunity to end this right now because they want to make it political?
Absolutely. Now, is the plan perfect? Probably not. I've tried to go through the actual plan, and it's a lot better than what we currently have. So it's a starting point.
Are you saying HR2?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the thing is, it's a starting point. And but it's already been mentioned by the Republicans. It's been out there in the news that they weren't going to give Joe Biden a win on immigration. They're going to keep it as a talking point all the ways to Election Day. And again, if it was that important, if the people here's the thing, we took time. We took effort, we worked on it, we got some solutions, we got buy-in, and then it was like the former President Donald Trump said he doesn't want it.
And that one wasn't HR2. That was the second one, and I can't think of the number. But HR2 was the one that was initially put out by Republicans.
Right.
And then Democrats
didn't want. But when they finally came together, and it was the better of anything, they got more than what they thought they were going to get. And again, it was a starting point, and we can always build from there. But just doing nothing after putting in all that time and work, that was a waste.
Well, then what needs to happen? I mean, if we don't think it's going to happen, in the next 6, 7, 8 months, what needs to happen next year to start out 2025?
Well, that's it. It depends on who's going to be in charge of the House. And who's going to be in charge of the Senate. If it's the Democrats, we're going to actually try to do something. We're going to try to get something done. We're listening to our constituents, but we need the Republicans to work with us. We're trying to work with them.
Time right now is 8:52. My guest is Maura Keller. She's one of 2 Democratic candidates for U.S. Congress to represent the 15-county District 3. We'll take our final break, and actually we'll look for questions and comments this time to bring those forth. Otherwise, we can visit your website. There's some lengthy issues that you put on there, and we'll just rapidly shoot through those like in the last 7 minutes. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Time right now is 8:53. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice. My name's Colin Worthington. Our last segment here with Maura Keller. She's the one of 2 Democratic candidates for U.S. Congress to represent District 3, and we're going to try and go through a couple of things. But during the break, you'd mentioned DACA as far as its significance, about how that you believe that might be help.
I want to see DACA put to rest. I want to see them to be given the pathway to citizenship. Stop using them as political pawns, because they're always brought up when it's election time. They don't know if they're going to be safe, or they're going to be told that they're going to be deported to the country that they've never been to. So give them a pathway. Every 2 years they have to pay about $600, $700 to renew their application. And in what for? They're working. They're paying into all our systems. They're paying into Medicare. Mm-hmm. They're paying into Social Security, but they cannot get any of those benefits, but they're paying into them. So, like I say, let's move on, take them off the political pawn, and then that's it.
But does that require more? Why are they being delayed after 2 years for another 2 years?
I wish I could tell you.
It's not. Don't they put more money into that, or?
Nobody's talking about it, other than, again, we talk as points, but we don't have talk which has solutions. And so we got to fix that.
What is your website, Maura?
It's Maura, and then the number 4, GA, the number 3.com.
That's Maura.
Maura.
Okay, and you can find a lot of her issues and concerns on that website. And I'm guessing you got a Facebook and Instagram page as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. We just type in Maura Keller. All that stuff's going to pop up.
You'll find them.
All
Yeah.
Right, very cool. With about 4 minutes here, environmental justice, criminal justice reform, voting rights. How do you feel about the voting right changes that were made after the 2020 election in the state of Georgia?
We had ballot boxes that went from 7 in the morning to 7 at night outside, or that you had access to, and then they changed them from 9 to 5, and they're in locked places. There was no reason. They were doing fine where they were. There was no issue of illegal voting or people tampering with them. We've made it a little bit more inaccessible to them. When I was going around to some of the counties, some of the polling places had closed, and a lot of them were in rural areas in places of color. So it kind of disenfranchises certain people. And to me, that's not right. We cannot disenfranchise anybody's vote.
I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'm leaving.
Okay.
All right. I'm at my house, and you're showing up and smiling, ready to go bring me a cup of coffee, but I'm heading for work. And you're like, hey, just give me 2 minutes to tell you why you should elect me for Congress.
Ooh. Well, I'm someone that will sit down and listen. That's one of the things that I've been able to do my entire career, is I can understand and I can find solutions. I am not someone that's just going to let you tell you something that you want to hear. And something that I always want people to know about me is the way I process and I do things. When I was a young lieutenant, my NCOs pulled me aside and said, look, I'm going to give you 2 bits of information. Number 1, always remember where you came from. And number 2, always remember that the decisions you make and don't make are going to affect that soldier in the field. And that's how I look at the people in this district. Any decision that I make or don't make is going to affect them. I can only make my decisions based on the information that you give me, and then for me to do my research. And the other 2 things is never tell me is it can't be done, or that's the way we've always done it. Because there are more innovative ways that we can get things done. We have so many smart people in this district that they have solutions. We just have to listen to them and figure out how we can make this happen.
Maura Keller, my guest on this morning's Community Voice program. She's one of 2 Democratic candidates on the general primary ballots next Tuesday for U.S. Congress District 3, the U.S. House, and Republicans have 5 candidates, so you will pick what ballot you want for this Tuesday, or if you vote early today, tomorrow, or Friday. So nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on the program, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
And perhaps we'll see you in November and have you
Hopefully
back on the
will.
program before then.
Okay.
Great. And thank you for tuning in this morning. I believe this is the last political interview we have before the actual election day. So, I mean, if Steve Graddick had the little button there, you could press the applause, and so we're glad we're done with that. But I believe Oak Mountain Academy is on the program tomorrow. And then David Huddleston, who is a state house rep, he'll be talking agriculture on Friday. So I'm sure they'll try and keep that a non-political program, but just talk about agriculture here locally, and people turn in for those programs. And Monday, we have former State Labor Commissioner Mark Butler, State House Rep Mark Butler on the program. So hope you'll tune in for those programs in the coming days. Right now, time right now is 8:59. Stay tuned for national news, and then Glenn Beck is on the air at 9:06. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.